Hello guys, welcome to our third of the events of interview program from the IMPD group at Politecnico di Torino. The program of interview will be about industry sector and innovation opportunities in this industry sector. It develops tanks managers and students that discuss together about the specific opportunities that are in this sector. Today, we are at our third appointment, and the interview will be on the food industry, and it is a real pleasure.
Food industry? I'm not sure.
Sorry,
I'm not the person.
sorry, you're right. The retail industry, and in particular, the furniture case of the retail industry. It is a pleasure for me to welcome Giulio Zotteri. Giulio Zotteri is full professor here at Politecnico di Torino. He teaches logistics and marketing, but today actually he is here because he is also executive at Mondo Convenienza. Mondo Convenienza is, we have in Italy two big players in the furniture industry, and Mondo Convenienza is one of the two big players. Giulio is executive there. He is responsible for logistics, but he has also duties in marketing and innovation. So students, it's your turn. I know that you have spent some time in conceiving question for Giulio. I'm sure that this will be again, as the other two appointments, an occasion, an interesting occasion to provide the other students with some hints, perspective from a specific industry. So now we are ready to start. Giovanni will do our first question on e-commerce and cross-channel purchasing.
Okay, thank you. Over the past decade, even more traditional retailers seem to have finally embraced e-commerce with an acceleration due to pandemic. Over the next decade, how much further evolution do you foresee? And what, if any, could hold back the e-commerce explosion? Or instead, will cross-channel purchasing represent definitively the solving paradigm? Specifically, in this renewed environment of online supremacy, for Mondo Convenienza that sell durable goods, will the online channel be just an enhancement tool to traditional stores? Will customers still need brick and mortar showrooms in the furniture sector? And on the other hand, customers discovered new ways of performing activities, the possibility to receive a variety of products directly at home. Their awareness and needs has been changing. How will the process from product search to purchase change? How to manage retention and the loyalty aspect in complete e-commerce processes? And finally, which competencies on the management of purchasing processes will become obsolete, if any, and which are the new ones to develop to stay competitive and ensure growth?
Okay, it's like it's like 15 questions.
Big question.
Rather than one, but I'll try to say provide a broad answer. And in case you have any further questions, feel free to post them as I try to answer. So feel free to jump in at any point in time. You talked about online supremacy. I honestly don't believe the story. I truly believe that what we call omni-channel retailing is the answer. That is, in my personal perspective, providing customers with channels, with a variety of channels for all the stages in their purchasing process. Channels to collect information, channels to, place orders, channels to get deliveries. And my personal opinion is customers have to be totally free and choose whatever shopping experience they want, meaning they will move through the channels according to their specific needs, depending on the product they're buying. Maybe if I want to buy some chairs, probably the website is the right place to collect information, place the order, and I want my products to be delivered at home. If I want to buy a mattress, I might need some more information and touch and feel the product. So I might go to the store and maybe pick it up at the warehouse, given that it's easy to transport. If I want to then buy a custom-made kitchen, all of a sudden I might need the support of a person that not only consults me, but consults me at my place. So there's a service we designed that is, we send a salesperson to the customer's house. That's even more, say, real service delivered to the house. It's the selling process that comes to my house rather than the customer going to the store or visiting the website. So what's my general recipe? Provide options, make customers choose. Different customers might prefer different options. Same customer might prefer one option rather than the other according to the specific point in time or need he or she might have. But you have to be, there's one, in my perspective, the one thing as a company you have to provide is consistency. No matter where I go to collect the information about a table, I should find exactly the same piece of information. No matter which channels I'll go to buy the product, I should find the same consistent price. The key idea here is like in real life, I can talk to Francesca through the by calling her. I can send her a WhatsApp message. I can send her an email, but I do expect her to know me and interact with me in a consistent fashion. And the same, principle applies to me in retailing. And at the very least, that applies to rather complex purchases, such as furniture, and for dominant players that want to have a very large market share. If you want to have a very large market share, you can't focus only on, brick and mortar stores. Brick and mortar stores nowadays are likely more than 80% of our total sales. Even in the post-pandemic world, it's still more than 80%. And
about the competencies, because the last part of Giovanni's question was on the competencies that could become obsolete, or the ones that instead can be renewed.
I'm not sure I can. To be perfectly honest, I think that the basic set of competencies that are needed are still the good old ones. The practices will be significantly different, but again, not only due to IT and so on and so forth, but because on the one hand, customers buy on the website, but on the other hand, they welcome to their place a salesperson that spends, God knows how much time at their place to design a new kitchen. But so the only major difference that I see here, new competence that I see here is so-called IT related or management or data scientists and all that stuff, or marketing the people devoted to digital marketing rather than traditional marketing. So you have to know the details of these new technologies to manage them properly. But the basic competencies that the company needs to have is still the good old ones, like focusing on the customer, having the right people in the right spots, being consistent through channels and through products. And I don't think that, again, if I compare, the organization of a warehouse today with the warehouse 15 years ago, store today, store 15 years ago, I see differences. But when it comes to, the skill set you need to have, I think that at the end of the day, not much has changed. The very, say, new competencies are required, like, as I said, data scientists, digital marketing experts, and so on and so forth, social marketing experts. These things were simply not there. So the technical skills required today might be different, but the ability to understand the customer needs, the ability to focus the organization on customer needs, I think
the ability still to sell,
to build a relationship, to be perfectly honest.
Okay.
Building a relationship in a selling process in a store is you know, it's very similar to the ability to build a relationship over the phone through a video call. When you go to the customer's place, you're still building a relationship to drive the consumer to make a purchase. And that's that's what at the heart of it. And what's become more difficult is coordination. And that's the reason why I talk about the identity of any given organization. The stronger the identity, the more you can have different channels and make sure that they all speak the same language, though in a different fashion, because when I talk to Francesca, I use a given language. When I write an email, I use a different language. And maybe when I send her a WhatsApp message, my Italian won't be as, you know, clean and polite as it is in an email. But it's a different language, but it's the same relationship, okay? And the same identity. I know Francesca, she knows me, and she knows what to expect from me and what not to expect from me. And the same applies in my perspective in the, you know, in the omni-channel world. Whereas for complex products, I do not expect internet to be the primary mode of purchase. And when I look at the product mix, just to give you an idea, sure, internet has become more and more important as a selling channel. But it only sells simple products, low margin products, and small orders. Just to give you an idea, when we go to customer's place, our average order is more than 4 times larger than the order we collect on the average. Over the internet, it's 2 times smaller than the average order. You can do the math. And guess for an organization that has to deliver, the vast majority of the cases, you know, managing orders that are 8 times larger is 8 times simpler than managing orders that are 8 times smaller. So not sure that, you know, that dominant internet mode applies over here, as I said, for complex products. But generally speaking, I can see Amazon buying supermarket chains, and so I'm not sure, you know, that applies for other product categories as well.
Okay, so
Thank
we
you.
can pass to the second question that is on one specific channel, physical store, and their evolution. It is from Carla Latona. Carla, the micro.
We can.
Good morning.
Good morning.
In view of the preceded spread of online, how important will physical store be? What role will they play? And how will they need to redefine themselves to position differently to online or according to the cross-channel purchasing habit? Traditional stores need to be modified and transformed. Can this lead to problems or challenges? On the other side, physical stores are impacted too by different technological innovations, like interactive shop windows, self-order kiosks, augmented reality, NFC, RFID tagged smart products, and so on. In view of that, do you see physical stores already evolving in their conception? How could the use of physical spaces in stores change if new technologies become practice in the coming years? Thank you.
I do believe, as I said, that physical stores will still play a role. My perspective, to be perfect, well, let's take a snapshot today. Physical stores account for more than 80% of our total sales. And even the remaining 18 or something percent of sales typically go through the stores somewhere in the purchasing process, okay? So they will definitely play a crucial role. You talked about what happens within the stores, but before we get within the stores, I have to talk about the chain of stores. What I do foresee in the near future is something that has already happened with supermarket chains and has already happened with IKEA. That is, we won't have just a single format like the 3,000 square meter large stores located outside of Turin in Toul, opposite locations. One is east, the other one is west. But that can be the only mode of operation for a very simple, basic reason. That is, in some markets, the size of the demand within the market size is not large enough to welcome a store of that size with such huge high fixed costs. And the second, customers are getting more and more used to convenience stores. That is, stores located more conveniently, more closer to their home or to their office. So we will have to rethink our network of stores to get closer to customers. Okay, and IKEA has already done that with some very interesting experiments with very small stores located either in shopping centers or in the in the shopping districts of larger towns, larger cities. So that speaks for the network of stores. When it comes to the single store, I do see technologies playing a significant role. I can tell you that, to me, the most significant improvement we performed was to simplify the purchasing process of customers within the stores. Just a few examples is we no longer tend to use PCs. So we no longer design let the customer buy a sofa while sitting on next to a table. We take a tablet and sell the sofa while sitting on the sofa, which provides customers with a much smoother shopping experience, because the customer is in closer contact with the product. And also the customer can pay. We used to have two stages of the shopping process. One is you select the product, you design the kitchen and blah, 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 and then you go to the checkout counter and pay. We make sure that through better technology, credit cards, not fancy stuff, the customer just gets to speak with one single person, and with that one single person, they talk about the product, get the information that is on the options they have, select the product, make the purchase, and pay, and then walk away without standing in a queue before they walk out of the store. These are the crucial part. But I have to also tell you about the what I see as a future of, but not really what we already done, but what I think we should be doing. In our product category, pretty much like in many other product categories, you have many more options to choose from than you can afford to display in a store. When you think about the combination of products, shape of the house, of the shape of the room, and colors, materials, it would, in Germany, there are some furniture stores that are 30,000 square meters. Our stores are 3,000 square meters. Not even the 30,000 square meters store can, welcome all the variety that manufacturers can offer. So the big question to me is, which sort of technology will enable the consumer to get an experience about all the potential assortment they could buy from, they could choose from, while still experiencing in the store service and the product. And there we should merge the technology with the shopping experience. The big question is how you integrate the new technology with the traditional shopping experience. We did few experiments on virtual reality. I have to tell you, so far they're just little toys, and we don't have a real plan to roll them out. What we do have a plan for is provide customers more information on the options they can choose from, and touch and feel the product, but then through a PC or a tablet, let them see all the options they can choose from. So matching the touch and feel experience with the variety you can offer them, and let them feel or perceive the variety through technology. but virtual reality is not there at this stage. I know that IKEA has done a lot on the augmented reality, which could be something we might apply in the next future. But when it comes to what happens at the customer's place rather than out than within our store, that's pretty much it. There's another dream that I have. To be perfect, I'm perfectly honest. I'm not saying that it will happen. But I'm sure that I'd love that to happen. That is, bring the customer house to the store through social network. You know that in the furniture industry we have a big problem, that is, make the customer imagine what the product could look like at his or her place, right? Not the furniture per se, but what the furniture will do in a room. Okay. That's why IKEA and Mondo Convenienza spend, literally millions of euros per year, designing the store in such a way that it makes the customer feel it's like their house. Okay. But on the other hand, through social networks, we can see what the product looks like at the customer's place. Our customers in these days are providing very nice pictures of what our products look like at their place. My final dream is to make sure that, given parts of our store will mimic Giulio's place, Carla's place, Claudia's kitchen, Stefania's living room, because it will be the final connection between the product and the function that the product performs for the customer. But it's very, traditional, I would say. Not fancy new technology, simply adopting social networks to figure out what really customers do with our products, and make sure that they can find in the store, the normal living room of a normal person, rather than what our designers think the living room should be.
So their experience in their houses.
Yeah, but what they can get an immediate feeling. It's like, I can see that this, part of the store that actually resembles Giulio's living room. And actually, Giulio too bought the sofa from Mondo Convenienza, and that's the real living room I can have. Just to think about that, in our stores we have a section for sofas and separate section for living room furniture, whereas another section for tables. In a normal living room, you can find all these stuffs together, and very often you also have a kitchen there. We sell them in different sections of the store, whereas in some parts of the stores we shouldn't be thinking about products, but thinking about what consumers do with our products, and that feeds back to the marketing side of the business, because providing customers with what other customers do with our products, providing with them information, with pictures, with videos, is, to me, a significant portion of what we should be doing in the future. We already started just like a month ago, but that's part of what we should be doing with new technology.
So we cited experience, and so we will go on with the third question, that is from Zariat Shiralieva, sorry, yes. Zariat, that is on customer behavior and their experience. So.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Nowadays, in view of previous cited technologies and change in purchasing paradigm, what is the driven for the experience? Are retail considering to rethink the in-store, online, as well as cross-channel entire customer experience? What promising technology do you think will have the greatest effect on custom shopping behavior and the customer experience in coming years? What are the key elements to merge the experience and create a mashup across both channels? Could losing customer contact be an obstacle to customer retention, or will the relationship with customer also be fed by possibility of co-participation? Do you think it's possible to increase the role the customer plays in creating and determining products? In 2017, Mondo Convenienza decided to invest in digital factory division for exploring tools that allow the creation of 3D products, enable a day-end personalization, Are these tools also in a store, or are they just configurators rather combined with GRM system in order to gather data from customers? In this, any possibility for customer co-participation in this product design? Thank you.
Just a few figures. More than 50% of our total turnover is generated by custom-made products. Okay. So, and to be perfectly honest, they are, in terms of margin, it's more than 50% because our make-to-stock standardized products are, cheaper and have less margin than our custom-made products. So, when we talk about the oopla. Can you see me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't see you. When we talk about the ability to jointly develop products with our customers, we definitely have been doing this, forever. To be perfectly honest, the world of furniture is, in the world of furniture, say standardized make-to-stock products are the relatively novel, whereas the custom-made products are the traditional way to go. Simply, the way we customize products, we design products with our customers has evolved over time. In the good old days, the architect would come to your house, measure the house, and then with some paper and a few pencils, they would design the kitchen to fit your needs. Nowadays, we have computer systems, and they are perfectly integrated with our product databases. What matters even more is the fact they are totally integrated with manufacturing and logistics. So when you come to our stores or any good retailer store, you can design, say, a kitchen, custom-made kitchen, that in order is sent back to the supplier, and there's a computer-to-computer connection. Nobody even touches the order. There's a person that controls the order, but then the order is immediately sent to the plant and finally to the truck. And when the customer exits the store, we already know when the order will be produced, when the order will be delivered to our warehouse, and when we can deliver it to the customer's place. That is say, the innovation side of custom-made or customized, say, solution. Customization has been there in the furniture business forever. It's not the new stuff. It's how we do it and the cost at which we can customize. Okay, so the real thing is you have a custom-made jacket that is sold at Zara costs. Okay, or the Zara prices. That's the where the innovation lies. And I think that generally speaking, in the retail business, customization at mass production costs is the real challenge. Customizing or products is not the new stuff. Also, again, back to the marketing side, in a relatively new market for us, which is Spain, we even ask our customers which sort of new product they prefer. So it's not a really there the customer is not involved in the product design. They are involved in the product selection process, but still, customers are involved early on, and rather than asking customers, it's much cheaper than introducing the product in the store, designing the part of the store to welcome the new product, and then you figure out, maybe 3 months down the road, you figure out that the product simply doesn't sell. Whereas with a group of loyal customers on any social network, you can figure out which new product is more popular in probably you know, less than half the time, and you know, less than half the money. So it takes less money. It takes less. Less time to figure out what customers love and what customers don't want to buy. So I think that's to wrap up. I don't think that customization and cooperation with customers to design solution is the new new thing, the latest innovation. It's the way we can do that with great precision. The one thing that is hard about the kitchens is that each single customized kitchen is unique. It has never been manufactured before. It will never be manufactured again with that specific combination of shape, angles, and blah blah blah.
Giulio, can you generalize this
I think so.
sentence, or
I think so. I honestly totally think so.
Or is it due to the fact that you work with, I don't know, modular product? So mainly you have.
But Francesca, to be perfectly honest, I think that the idea should be exactly the same. That is, to provide our products a modular structure and provide our production and distribution processes enough flexibility.
Depends on the architecture.
Sure, and you have to figure out that architecture to make things work that way.
Okay, because if you have integral products with integral architecture,
then it's much harder.
Okay.
But again, also involving customers to select products when they are brand new and you don't have a sales history to understand what they want. This is probably another part of the architecture that I would think relevant for any retailer.
Yeah, sure. So I think we can go to the fourth question that is from Avan Fatah. Again on technologies. So Giulio, I think you can answer for what you want. Technologies and their impact into retail industry.
Thank you. Digital technologies could improve the retail sector on the demand side, for example, with customized customer experience, or on the supply side, for example, with the efficiency of the supply chain, inventory make-to-order policies, or shipping systems. CRM system evolution and AI, as well as machine learning algorithm, moreover, can support data gathering and analysis for customer profiling actions. Augmented and virtual realities finally support configurators, design activities, and can also aid selling processes, for example, through holography. On which technology are you betting as a top manager? And what technology over the horizon do you think will be most relevant to the retail industry, and how will it create value? Specifically, given the pervasive phenomenon of social media in our life, what role do they play in the retail industry, and how are they leading digital marketing actions? And what about competencies required by this technological shift? How are companies gearing up to acquire them? I'm thinking, for example, of the need to have data analysts. Are they implementing the new technologies in-house, or are they doing partnerships and outsourcing? Thank you.
Again, it will take us, there are several questions there. Let's start with the technologies. I think that most of the technologies you mentioned might have a potential. Just to mention one, we are starting in the coming months 2 projects on demand forecasting. Both based on both will consider, say, artificial intelligence as one of the options to forecast demand. Just to mention another technology, we're opening a new warehouse, which is 10,000 square meters in Catania in May. and for the first time, we will be adopting robots that will move products within the warehouse. I think the technologies on the backend side can significantly improve the efficiency of the supply chain, replenishment, inventory management, although the backend, as I said. The big question on the one hand, when it comes to marketing, definitely I see social networks playing a very significant role, to be perfectly honest. And there are two ways we can use the social networks. On the one hand, it's the next communication channel. Rather than using TV, I can use social networks or AdWords because it's it will be a more efficient, so to say, channel where I can address my target more precisely. Okay, I won't be talking to all the people. I will only talk to the people that are in my age group, the right gender, in the right region, and blah blah blah. But it's just the same good old logic where I, buy a contact. It simply is in that perspective, it simply is a more accurate, a more efficient channel. The ratio between the cost of the contact and the quality of the contact is simply better than on traditional TV. Okay, I might pay a little bit more on the contact, but the quality of the contact will be much higher, given that I can target that specific consumer at the right time. Okay, but that's, to be perfectly honest, not a big deal. That's easy. Okay, I'm still in control of my content. I simply deliver it through different channels to different people, but it's the same good old logic. When it comes to social network used as social networks rather than used as channels for one-way communication, it's a different ball game. It is a totally different ball game. It's a revolution. It's like, you thought that the world was flat, and now you figured out that the earth is round. And the big revolution is, in my perspective, not only it's a technical revolution, but mostly it's a mindset revolution. If you use your social networks as social networks, you lose control of content. No longer the company is providing content to a channel that then distributes the content, but you collect content and distribute the content that the company has not generated. And it takes, again, it's a revolution. And I can see very often that those people that love control just struggle with that, to be perfectly honest. They struggle because they I have to tell my customers to use this color. And you know what? If customers take a nice picture of another color, what can you do?
Have you estimated the cost of this risk?
No, we haven't. But as you know, very often in life, you should wonder what's the cost of not doing this. What I do know, given that I was able to measure it, is that social networks used as channels of communication or one-way communication are much more efficient than AdWords, Google AdWords, or traditional channels such as printing a catalog and distributing that house by house. They're much more efficient. And given that observation, my point is, what's the risk of not using social networks, of not using the content that 2 million customers per year can generate? Think about the fact that each and every year, Mondo Convenienza serves 2 million families. Think about the amount of content they can generate and compare that with any content you can generate in a company that, you know, employs overall, you know, 3,500 people, and in the content section of the digital factory, just probably like 10. It doesn't quite, you know, doesn't quite compare. And my point is, there's a risk. Sure, the risk is that we're not good enough to manage that situation.
The word of mouth.
Sure, but the word of mouth is still there. The issue is simply there's a new task, and like it always happened with any organization, if you're good at a new task, you survive. If you're not good at a new task, you might die as a company. But the question is, the task is there. Somebody will be able to do it the right way. If it's a relevant task for the future, and we fail to be good at that, we might, you know, lose. But if we don't even try, that's going to be even worse, in my perspective.
So now we can go on because time is passing. And the next question is from Claudia Sanna on privacy and more general on social responsibility.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, as previously said, in order to improve customer experience and to ensure a greater personalization of products, companies seek to collect more and more customer data. For example, cookies are used to track user searches. These include the collection and creation of a large volumes of personal data from an ever-increasing number of connected devices like smartphones, smartwatches, connected cars, drones, personal assistants like that of Amazon Echo, etc. Retail companies primarily could be important players on the market of data. What will happen to our personal data, identity, and privacy in this digital connected world? Do you think that the consumer will be prepared to have ever less privacy and identity in exchange for an easier life, thanks to the benefit of technology innovation? Furthermore, I ask your pardon because this question seems to have nothing to do with the topic, but actually the link is that of corporate social responsibility. Retail also has a great impact on pollution, and often companies do not take a position about unsustainable processes and products. So I would like to ask, what is the percentage of companies that are considering the effect of their choices on climate change? And what are you as top manager and your company doing about it? Thank you.
Privacy data and the easy life.
Easy
Tough
part
question.
of the question.
But no. The easy part is probably the second one, which is let's start with easy then. Social responsibility and impact on the environment, society, and so on and so forth. Let me put it this way. I think that in the future, all companies will have to take care of these issues for a very simple reason that youngsters that are the customers of the future simply care about it. So I think that the public has the ultimate responsibility in selecting those companies that meet their needs at the end of the day. So to the extent the customers care, we are going to care. Or the surviving companies will care. Are things changing? I do believe so, to different extents in different companies. Is Mondo Convenienza doing enough? I don't think we are. Is Mondo Convenienza doing something definitely more than something? I would argue quite a bit. But we're moving from, we're changing as an organization. We are evolving over time. I'm not sure that we have the right speed, but just to give you an idea, our trucks are renewed on the average after 5 years for several reasons, among others, pollution. But efficiency comes with pollution. The less gas you use, the less pollution you generate. We have solar panels on top of most of our company-owned warehouses and stores. Is that enough? I'm not sure. And to be rude, I should also say that some business models tend to have an impact. The right way to make sure that the piece of furniture has a low impact is to make sure that it lasts 15 years. That's, you know, the customers want to use it for 15 years, and the piece of furniture lasts for 15 years. There's an old advertising campaign from IKEA in the United States that says it's just furniture, change it. And I don't think that, you know, even if you use railways rather than trucks and blah, 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 at the end of the day, if you keep your old piece of furniture, that's the lowest possible environmental impact you can have. But that has an impact on consumption and on demand and turnover. So I think we as an organization have an idea on how to move forward on the, say, easy part, solar panels, trucks that are nicer to the environment, delivering to customers' place rather than making customers come to the warehouse, because on a single truck you can have 6 deliveries and you have a routing system that reduces the number of kilometers, blah, blah. That's the easy part. At the heart of it then lies a question, but do we really need the new shirt? Do we really need the new chairs? And that's the hard part. For that part of I have no answer, honestly. But Claudia, did you want to comment?
No, just I would like to ask you regarding what you said before about our houses to your dream is to bring, if I have understand, is to bring our houses in warehouses.
No, bring the products to the house rather than make the customers come to the warehouse, because with a single truck I can avoid 5 cars. That's it. Efficient economically, but that's efficient environmentally. But the big question is, can I just have one kitchen sold rather than 10? Because that will last forever. You know, beating that on the environmental impact is really, you know, is really tough. Then we can use recycled wood for the furniture and blah, blah, blah. But the key idea is a high consumption model environmentally friendly. Is a model where you change your furniture after 5 years more or less environmentally friendly than a consumption model where you change your furniture after 15 or 30 years.
Yeah, of course. But so I was speaking about what is actually your dream about the future, about the idea of bringing products to customer houses. And I would like just to know what do you think about privacy and data in this future vision?
Where privacy and data, I think that again we should give the customers the options and consumers the options. If they are willing to share information with me, email with me so that I can give them offers to discounts and blah blah blah. I don't see that the point of any regulatory authority saying no, you can, yes you can. But I do see customers that simply don't want to get into that business of giving data to get advantages of any sort. So that it gets again. We have to give customers options. One thing I know for sure, that when you abuse customers, they take it personally. In these days, customers are much more aware of their power. And if you abuse customers, they say, I don't want to, I don't want to share information with you. And you don't want to use that information for marketing activities for any reason. Be careful. Be careful on how you play with your customers and with their data. Because it's not that you don't have to use them. You have to use them in a way that is consistent with what customers want you to do with them. Okay? And to give you just an idea, we don't share data on our customers with any organization.
Yeah. So it's like a deal with the customer.
It's a deal. That's in my perspective, that's exactly a deal. You give me your email, I will give, when it comes to Black Friday, We'll give you advance notice on the products that are that have a special discount on Black Friday. You can start shopping on Thursday. You don't want to give me your email, you'll find the products still available or left over on Friday. You choose. The customer has the ultimate choice. We have to set the rules and let customers do what each customer thinks is in his or her best interest. That's the bottom line, in my perspective.
Now we have to move to our last question from Stefano Ottone on logistics and supply chain.
Thank you. Good morning. Supply chain management, in addition to cost containment for efficiency competition, must be developed around the two main principles, time-based competition and service competition. Mondo Convenienza has since the beginning faced these challenges as well. Nowadays, however, game rules are changing again. AI and machine learning are changing industries, giving companies a new position in the supply chain. E-commerce is none other than a means to reach a customer without the need of intermediaries. The possibility of customization, even thanks to CRM tools, call for the flexibility and shifts for production planning from made to stock to made to order policies. How can this affect this distribution in terms of organization and order fulfillment times? In particular, the processing of a great quantity of small orders, above all for B2C, calls for new investments, such as in automated warehouses. These seem to be not particularly adopted yet in Italy. Is Mondo Convenienza moving towards such a kind of solutions?
As I said before, we are on the planning part. We are launching 2 demand forecasting projects that are involving, among other options, artificial intelligence. When it comes to make to order, make to stock products, the design of specific warehouses for specific orders, we're thinking about different options. I can tell you that we are just focusing on furniture up to this day because we don't have a supply chain that is capable of managing small products like sheets for the beds. Or when customers come to our stores, they ask for furnishing, not on top of furniture. But our supply chain is simply not able to deliver those products efficiently. And so the big question is, do we want to still be in a position where we don't sell those products, or do we want to be in a position where we can sell those products that our customers simply ask for? And my answer is, if customers want that furnishing on top of furniture, we should put ourselves in a position where our supply chain can deliver those orders, but it will take a different warehouse, more automated, as you pointed out, probably more concentrated, given that I can send them through parcel services rather than through our own fleet of trucks. But generally speaking, I think that we should design our supply chain in such a way that it does 3 things: provide efficiency. One thing is the suppliers deliver full truckloads to single warehouses. They don't have a truck that then stops in 3 or 4 different places. One truck starts from a plant, drops all the product, the whole full truckload to a single warehouse to improve transportation efficiency. Okay. So we should be efficient. Second, we should be delivering quickly and reliably. Not only we have to have a great speed, we also have to have great reliability. And actually, in my perspective, reliability of deliveries is much more relevant than speed. Once you have reliability, improve your speed, but don't improve speed at the expense of reliability, because again, as Claudia pointed out, it's a deal. When you promise your customer to deliver in 10 days, the customer might be willing to accept 12 rather than 10. But once you said 10, If it's 10, 12, or 14, then you have a problem with your customer. And you don't, especially if you're large enough, you don't want to lose the relationship with the customer, because that's much more relevant than this single transaction. And the third is provide customers with delivery, with an option of delivery services. Something, just to give you an idea, we ask our customers 19 extra euros to choose the hour of the day where the delivery will happen. And many customers, like 10% of our customers, pay for that service. Okay, so we have to offer customers speed, reliability, cost, and service. But what's important is that in the supply chain sector, we should think that we are working on the back end, and we have to make sure that you know, within our organization we can have different warehouses with the robots, with all the complexity you can dream of, but it must be very simple for the consumer. And all that needs to be designed in such a way that we deliver cost benefits, reliability, speed, and service. The key idea there is that all the innovation, all the technology you can think of in the supply chain should be tested, should be tried, should be adopted, or can be adopted to the extent that it has a market meaning. It means something for the consumer, okay? And it keeps things simple for the consumer. Okay, if to the consumer, you know, booking a delivery hour on a delivery date is easy, then, you know, go ahead and sell that service and design the supply chain to provide that service. If it's a nightmare, avoid it. If it doesn't reduce cost, avoid it. If it reduces cost at the expenses of service, reliability, speed, that's probably a bad investment. Okay. So you on the one hand, there are two messages over here: all the complexity you want, all the technology you want within the supply chain, it must be still be simple. And back to a previous question, all the technology we can use on the customer experience side should not kill the customer experience, should improve the customer experience. Second message is all the innovation, all the changes should not only work on the efficiency of the supply chain, but should work on the efficiency of the supply chain while still improving reliability, speed, and service. If you decrease the cost of your supply chain at the expenses of speed, reliability, and service, then probably it's not what customers want, because customers have been taught by Amazon, among others, to want low prices, immediate deliveries, reliable deliveries, and great service. And that's what we have to provide them with.
Do you think that sustainability could be a layer in addition? So that could be some customer willing to pay for a sustainable service. So not only efficient service, not only a reliable service, but a sustainable service. I pay more to have a sustainable service. Because I know that in some other industry, I think the water industry, there are some customers that are moving from solutions, from one solution to another. I'm thinking about plastic bottles to other systems in-house. And typically these systems are more expensive than bottles. So they are willing to pay more in order to be sustainable.
I think so somehow. But there's as a mass retailer that focuses on our current euro market share is 15% in Italy, roughly. That means that in terms of units, we're probably like 40%, okay, or 30%. When you're such a large retailer, you should focus on the needs of the vast majority of customers. So when it comes to water, probably you have different segments, and you have that niche competitors that only whose values statement is probably the environment. We should have the environment among other performance we deliver with our supply chain, and I totally agree with you on that side, but only to the extent that we can meet the needs of the majority of our customers, or the majority
not the tail of the distribution.
Not the tail of the, well, we know that the tail is there, but
or the tail could be in the future. So.
Oh, sure, but my point is, our consumers today care about the environment, and we should consider the impact on the environment. But and very often, to be perfectly honest, again, as an efficient supply chain has got a relatively low impact on the environment. If our trucks start in Pesaro and deliver in Verona with one full truckload, that's the most environmentally friendly delivery you can think of by far.
Okay.
So, but again, only to the extent that our normal customer cares about that performance, not the tail of our customer distribution cares about that. And we know that it's going to change over time, but we should be focusing on the vast majority of our customers, not the elite, say, environmentally friendly customers. But what I see is that our customers are aging, and our customers of the future will care more than our current customers.
My question, because our students are more interested in sustainability than when we were students. So I think they will be your customers of the future. So.
Sure, and I have to tell you that our current customers care more than our past customers. Something many customers complain about is the fact that our catalogs are enveloped in plastics. That's an issue today. It was not an issue 10 years ago, to be perfectly honest.
Okay, so we are arrived at the end, actually. So I would thank Giulio for being with us this hour, and I would like also to thank you, students, for your effort, because I think you provided a service to your teammates that will look at the interview. Thanks also your effort